Kevin Durant has been bad. Like, really bad. Like, I'm talking worst we've ever seen him in years bad, especially in the playoffs. What the Celtics have done to KD in these first 2 games have been a defensive masterclass to stop one of the greatest scorers of all time. The thing is, we knew Boston was an elite team on defense. Well, at least you knew if you were subbed to my channel. But no one expected the Celtics defense to disrupt Kevin Durant so effectively that it had the Slim Reaper looking mortal. Whenever KD even touched the basketball, he's seeing immediate double teams, constant on-ball pressure, and don't get me started on the physicality. We gotta give some credit to Coach Ime Udoka and the Celtics players locking into the defensive scheme to limit Kevin Durant. KD is currently posting career lows, yes, career lows in the playoffs in points, field goal percentage, and 3-point percentage. Somebody needs to let me know where the real Kevin Durant is, because it can't be the guy I've seen in this first round series. This reminds me to the 2013 Western Conference semifinals where Kevin Durant was bottled up by Tony Allen and the Memphis Grizzlies. They had my guy out there looking rough. And many fans keep saying this is the worst they've seen him look since the 2016 Western Conference Finals, where KD looked lost in Game 6 and could have sealed the series in that game and eventually blew a 3-1 lead. And I don't know about y'all, but I ain't giving out no passes. KD deserves every bit of the slander that comes his way right now, and if he continues to perform this way. This is what comes with being labeled the best player in the world, like many Nets fans tried to claim KD was this year. And if you can't meet the expectations that the other greats you're compared to have hit, then we need to have a real long discussion of what we're really talking about. For years, all I've heard is that regardless of what you do against Kevin Durant, he will always get his. And for the most part, that's always been labeled as true. Durant is still one of the all-time greats we've ever seen. Don't get it twisted. But it seems that in one of the first times in a really long time, he's now the sole focal point for his team without a plethora of elite level stars next to him. Going over 10 in the second half in Game 2 had me thinking I was getting punked, or Durant was just trolling us. And even with that bad performance, I still had belief that Kevin Durant would still turn it up when it mattered most for the Nets. Boy, was I wrong. The Celtics opened a correctional facility, and Kevin Durant was their first arrest, people. Sloppy turnover after sloppy turnover had me questioning if Kevin Durant's handle was suspect. Forcing KD left on every possession instead of right, where he loves to attack, clearly made the game much more uncomfortable for Durant to get into any offensive rhythm. And for many of you guys who might think I'm overreacting or forcing on Kevin Durant when it's so early into the series and will tell me, KD just had a bad shooting night, or KD's still one of the best in the league, then you're missing my point. Kevin Durant's current playoff performances cannot be ignored when we try to prop him up as the best in the world, especially when we have gone on other players for slightly better performances and still critique them aggressively. Steph, Harden, Kawhi, PG, Anthony Davis, Embiid, LeBron James? People need to realize that if you're not going to give these players the same energy when talking about their game, then the expectations that you hold for these players aren't the same for each player. If LeBron had this type of performance, which he hasn't, and actually 4 years ago against the #1 rated defense, which was the Celtics, with no all-star caliber player on his roster, put up 33, 9, and 8 in a 7-game series. Mind you, LeBron went down 0-2 as well, and I remember how much the media was ready to slander Bron for not getting to the finals. 4 years later, and you want me to keep quiet when the player many people try to put on the same echelon as LeBron all time is performing like this? Y'all are sped. Now, of course, I understand the 2018 Celtics and the 22 Celtics are completely different teams. Giannis went down 0-2 in the finals last year, and we're ready to do what NBA Twitter and the media does best: slander. Luckily for him, he went on one of the greatest 4-game stretches in the finals and proved everybody wrong. These are the expectations I hold for Kevin Durant right now, and I expect them to be better going forward in this series because his level of talent and what he's shown in his career exhibits that he can get it done. And as one of the best players in the league, I can't see anything less than Kevin Durant answering back in the next 2 games at home, guns ablazed. We saw what he did last year in the playoffs, nearly putting up 50 twice in the Barclays, including a triple-double, and was a shoe size away from rewriting history. It will be a career-defining moment how KD responds, because at the end of the day, he chose to team up with Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn. He chose to leave the Golden situation in Golden State, and even without Kevin Durant, Golden State in the Bay has retooled and reloaded their squad and are still as competitive without Kevin Durant. If I was a betting man, I'd most certainly bank on Kevin Durant having a much better performance in the next game in the series. But if he doesn't, it's not going to be a pretty sight at all. I'll leave it at this, and I truly mean this, so listen up. Keep the same energy when talking about the players you love to praise. You can go on my channel and find countless videos praising players and propping them up. But when they play bad, I'll be the first to admit it that they need to be better. Kevin Durant will have to be better, and I still think he can will the Nets to winning the series if he performs like the Kevin Durant that we all know. And if he can't, then maybe we should be honest about expectations we truly hold for these players we love to discuss. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And be sure to turn that post notification bell on so you never miss a video. Until next time, stay on beat.